Hi there guys, in today's video we're going to be looking at rotating objects within FlexiPRINT. But before that, let's have a quick intro first. So today's video can be found on softwaretraining.co.za. We make short and easy to watch problem solving videos, and we also have daily updates. Now if I head into the program here, like I mentioned in the intro, we're going to be looking at rotating objects. So let's just quickly create a rectangle so we can see something that is being rotated. Now when it comes to rotating, there's two main ways we can go about this. I'm going to cover the easiest one at first, but it's not necessarily the most precise. So in order to rotate, we want to make sure our selection tool is enabled here or selected. Let me just fix a zoom there. So it's the first one on our secondary toolbar. And then with your shape selected, all you want to do, let me scale it a bit up for the sake of the video, is double click it. So if I double click this, you might not have seen it on the video, but these little node arms has changed. So I'm going to try double click again. You can say we've got a certain thing, then another thing, and then we've got the actual rotation arms. And if I hover over these, you can see my mouse cursor changes to a little rotation icon. I don't know if you can see it over there. So any one of these four corners, so not the in-betweens, so the actual corners, this will rotate your object or your shape. If I left click on that, hold in and move, you will see there, get this red outline of where it's going to rotate it to. Then I can simply, if I let go, it will place it in that new rotation. Now there's another thing we can do. We can constrain this as well. So if I rotate and I keep shift in, it will do it in 45-degree increments. So you can see there we can now go exactly 45 degree and rotate that. We can change the increments it uses, but I'll show you that a bit later. Then next up on this actual freehand transform, in the middle here, you'll see we've got this little white dot. Now this is the origin of rotation. So if I rotate these arms, it's going to rotate around this point. So if I wanted to, I can simply left click on this point and move it to a new location. Let's say I want to rotate around that corner. Now if I use any of these rotating arms, doesn't matter where they are, it's going to rotate it around that point, as you can see. So we can rotate it like so around that point. Now this point can also go outside of your design. So if I click it and I move it to the corner of the page here, now if I rotate this, it will rotate it around that point. Very handy little feature if you want to do specific rotations. Just keep in mind, if you've confirmed it and you go back into rotation, it will reset the point to the center. Now, let's say we wanted to change those increments of how much it is rotated by. Then what we can do, I'm just going to kind of try align this a bit more leveled. Now, this is not really necessary. You can do it on the Design Central panel as well. But what you want to do, go to your main menu on top. Let's fix the zoom. And we go to Edit. And we navigate down till we find Preferences. I'll open that, and then under our general tab, our first one, you can see we've got your constraint angle. At the moment it's set to 45 degree, but let's say I change this to 15. Maybe I want more control over it. Say okay. Now if I rotate and keep shifting, you will see it does it in 15-degree increments. So this is sometimes handy if you want to have, like I say, more control over the rotation without it just being completely freehand. So you can calculate it more easily. I'm going to go and set that back to the default. Just now I make a video in the future and you guys are like, my program's not working like yours. Then it might be confusing. Now another thing, let's say I wanted to set this exactly back to its original rotation. You can see that can be quite tricky, and that's where the Design Central comes in handy, where this is a place where you can do exact rotations. So if I zoom in here on the right, make sure your Design Central is open. You will see you can find it here on your primary or main toolbar. Just simply click that and then it will open it. Then make sure you navigate to the second tab. By default it will be on the first. Go to the second one with that little arrow that spins. It's for rotation. And then you'll see the first option here is the rotation. So now if I want to set this back to exactly 0 degrees, I can highlight that, press 0, press enter, and then it will reset it. So I'm just going to make it more obvious. So let's say you want to go back to 0, set it to 0. Now likewise, you can obviously set an exact amount. Let's say I want to go 34.5 degrees. I think it's 5. There we go. Then I can do that. I can set it to exact amount of degrees of rotation in this section. Very handy. And then at the bottom here, you will see we have this little weird rectangle with little subsections that we can select. Now, like with the freehand where we can click this thing and move it around, now we can set it here as well. So let's just default this back to 0 so you can see nicely. But this will constrain it to your actual design, the selection within your design. So if I go top left corner, we'll move that little dot, bottom right, and then center. So that's also a quick way you can do it. But the beauty is, like I said, in the design central, you can go exact measurements. So if you need something very precise, but if you kind of just aligning things, getting things more or less right, then the freehand is definitely quicker. So just a quick recap. So we've got the two. We've got a freehand rotation and the design central. The freehand, you want to make sure with your selection tool, you double click until you get these little rotating arms. Then you can rotate it from there. And then with the design central, just make sure it's open and you go to the second tab. And then you can adjust the rotation and origin from there. And then obviously just for constraints, make sure you keep shift in, left click, and drag those rotation points. But yeah, otherwise that is it on the basic transformation for rotation. Now, meanwhile though, if we head here to softwaretraining.co.za, you guys will notice we've got a variety of different softwares we do cover, and you can also isolate your search on the top right. If you do not, however, find the training videos you're looking for, just simply go here, request a training video, fill in the mini form, and then we'll do our best to try and make that for you. But otherwise, thanks guys for watching, and cheers.